Welcome everyone to LAM's Cryptoverse. The name of this new YouTube channel is based off of my last name and of course crypto assets. And the sheep is also my astrological sign, so it all came together. Now Cryptoverse refers to both digital assets as well as anything digital, including software companies, technology companies. So who am I? I'm basically made up of an alphabet soup of accreditations and education. For example, I have a BS in finance, credit training from NYU, and I've been certified by both GARP and the CFA Institute, so that's CFA and FRM. And of course, I have an MBA. But the most important thing is that I, like Mark Twain said, I never let my schooling interfere from my education. Because what happens is when you go to school too much sometimes, you kind of get stubborn and you get stuck in a certain way of thinking. And in this industry, you need to be very flexible and constantly thinking. So how did I get into the crypto rabbit hole? First, let me go back to investing. I got into investing when I was a boy. I just was always into it. I loved the fascination and the challenge of the stock market chess game. And I was always interested in technology for some reason. I still don't know why. And that led, of course, to digital assets, because cryptocurrency / digital assets are basically, if you think about it, software platforms. And one thing going back to cryptocurrencies, I like many people, thought they were bullshit. And I think the problem with cryptocurrencies is their marketing. The word cryptocurrencies makes you think of crypto, which sounds very mysterious, and it's basically a burial ground, right? A crypt is a burial ground. So it's not a good way of thinking about things. And currency makes you think of, well, cryptocurrency, like a digital form of currency. But that's not the whole point or the point of cryptocurrency. It's not that it's a digital form of currency. And my last point here is I was initially very negative on crypto, because if you think initially of as cryptocurrencies as being a digital currency, it has none or very few of the characteristics of a currency. I could just give you one example. Bitcoin, which is like the most prestigious of all cryptocurrencies, right? But it's not really a good currency, right? Because it's so volatile. So that's what I thought initially. So the problem with cryptocurrencies, again, is you really need to do a deep down analysis before you really start getting it, before it starts clicking in your head and you get that eureka moment. And most people don't get that because it takes a lot of time and a lot of work and just a different way of thinking, and then it clicks. So that's why you hear so many smart people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger saying it's that cryptocurrency is fraud, scandalous, a scam, and just bullshit. But you just got to do a deep dive to understand it. And lastly, I want to explain why I formed this YouTube channel. There are 50 million YouTubers out there, and most of them have no subscribers. You always hear about the ones that have like 1 million subscribers and they're making tons of money doing YouTube, but it doesn't work that way. Life's not that easy. So why would I start a YouTube channel knowing that it would be an uphill battle? Why? Number one, I see faulty analysis. Everyone on YouTube is always bullish, even when they're showing you bad charts, which leads me to my second topic. Most people on YouTube, they show you charts, stock charts. I should not stock charts, but token charts or on-chain metric charts. And they're almost always bullish. Even when they shouldn't be bullish, they interpret these charts bullish. Not because they're bad people. it's because they're fooling themselves. They want to be bullish. They believe in the dream. But sometimes you need to interpret data the way it is. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. And another reason why, and this leads me to my other reason why I want to start this YouTube channel, is because I want to use a holistic approach where I'm not just, like I said, showing charts. I'm going to look at three things. MFT, I'm trying to get this right. M as in macro, F as in fundamental, and T, technical. So I'll do something like macro Mondays, fundamental Fridays, and technical Tuesdays, where I can cover everything. And lastly, I do my homework. You need to spend a lot of time on this, on crypto, or just anything. Malcolm Gladwell once said, you need to spend something like, 10,000 hours before you get good at something. And I believe that's the same. For example, a blockchain project. You can't just watch a YouTube video or go to Medium or Discord or Substack or whatever it is. You got to look at lots of different sources. You got to look at the white paper. It's a lot of work. I estimate it takes at least 1 week of full-time work just to look at one project. So who has the time for that? And if you don't have the time, you're not going to have the convictions. Even if you think you're right about something, if you don't put in the time, you're not going to get the conviction. So time is very important. And lastly, risk management. My background is from working at banks, I should say, and I used to be in risk management. So it's very important to look at different aspects of risk management, and there are many. I'll just cover one or two. The first one is portfolio management. What's the efficient frontier of your portfolio, and what's the portfolio sizing? What's the risk return for each asset you're buying, and how's it going to lower your overall risk? And so you need to know the potential drawdowns of that particular asset and of the portfolio. So that relates to portfolio sizing. And of course, I talked about conviction, but you also always need to be thinking, what am I missing? What could I be wrong about? Where could I be making mistakes? And I know this is difficult for people to comprehend because I just said you need to have lots of conviction, but don't get mixed up between conviction and stubbornness. So you could have conviction, but at the same time, you can be open to other points of view. So that I think that's the way we should interpret this and analyze this whole ecosystem. So I hope you enjoyed this short introduction to myself. And before I go, I want to let you know that I am not paid to do any reviews. I'm not mandated by anyone to do anything. And I'm not a financial advisor. This YouTube channel is going to be solely for your education and entertainment purposes only. Charlie Munger, by the way, I just read this today. I'm not a big fan of Charlie Munger, but he did say the number one thing one human being can do for another is educate them. So if I can do that, educate just one person per day, that'll help me fulfill my goal and hopefully fulfill your goals. So please hit the subscribe and like buttons. I really appreciate that because that's going to help elevate this channel in those Google algorithms, as you all know. Thank you for listening.